Hi there, my name is Natalie Bungay and I'm the Technical Director for Pestforce UK, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about cockroach activity and what to expect when it comes to dealing with that infestation. So first things first, do you have cockroach activity? What are the signs of cockroach activity? Now, there are a few species in the UK. I'm not going to go through all of those, you might be here a little while, but it is important that as pest controllers we understand which species it is. We have, German cockroaches and Oriental cockroaches, and even sometimes American and brown bandit. There's a few different species there, but sometimes there are key differences in the behaviour of that cockroach that will impact the treatment that we do and change the way we might do a treatment. So that's the first thing, is understanding what species it is. Cockroaches, we're all familiar with them. Depending on the species of it, commonly, the German cockroach will harbour in warm areas. A common name the industry can give them is steam fly, and that's just because they like warm areas. Back of fridges and ovens where there's a motor or an area that's quite warm and humid, that's where German cockroaches like to reside, and they reside in large numbers. So all these areas is where we would inspect, and if you do see insects coming out from that area, and you sort of have a look online, it might be quite easy for you to identify that, these are cockroaches, okay? Oriental cockroaches can survive quite a few different cooler environments, and sometimes we can even see them living around drains and things like that, but they do work a little bit differently to German cockroaches, so we'd need to assess that. But seeing the adults themselves is the biggest sign to cockroach infestations. They do leave droppings behind, but they're always very close to the harbourage generally, and they look like little pen sort of inky flicks on the surface. So sometimes you might not notice this. It's definitely the adult cockroach themselves, or even the young cockroaches. We call them nymphs. They're just a smaller version of the adult. So keep an eye out for that. And if you do think you've got cockroaches, then get in touch with us, and we're always happy if you can take photographs of the cockroach species you've got, and it just helps us with that, getting a treatment plan into place really quickly for you when we get to site. So what the things that we do when it comes to cockroach control, the years that have gone by, cockroach control has become really, really safe. Historically, spraying was really the only way that we could deal with cockroaches, and using sticky glue traps to catch them. Whereas the development of a bait formulation of insecticide, which basically means it's a gel consistency, we put it in the pathway of the cockroaches and they'll eat it. And then from them eating it, they will then die. But the best thing about it as well is the formulations that we have available is that these cockroaches will take a few days to die. But once they do, their fellow cockroaches will also consume them, and that will have a cascade effect on the control. So it is a really innovative product. It's very discreet and very safe. And we put it in areas where it's just not accessible to any pets or children that you might have. And it really does give full control. So cockroach gel baits are the main way that we deal with cockroaches. In really severe situations where there's a lot of cockroach activity present, we can use spraying just to knock those down to a degree, but still, the more cockroaches there are, sometimes the better these gel baits work. So that's always the predominant way that we deal with them. And of course, if there is a root cause associated with why they're there, possibly that is in a block of flats, and maybe some more flats in that block have got an issue. So we do try and understand those things and advise whether it's you or a landlord on how you can address the wider problem if it is a wider problem. Okay, but really important thing, don't be ashamed if you've got cockroaches. It's one of those things that can be brought into properties sometimes, or even you're being affected by a neighbouring property. Okay, so make sure you get in touch, get us to come out and survey, and we'll put the safest and most effective control treatment plan in place for you.